Hey, Levi.
How are you?
Hi. Hey, Scott.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Boy, that light is bright. Let me change that.
Jamie, I just made you host so you could admit some more people.
Okay.
Okay, cool. We just got off, Scott. So our region puts on this Tech and Touch event, and we just got off this morning, and one of the presenters was doing screen to screen selling. And I have such tech envy, I can't even stand it. I just loaded up my Amazon cart with a lot of money. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, like all sorts of cool things. I'm feeling very novice with anything right now. Like, oh my God, it was so cool. Yes.
So I see Sean's on here. Is everybody here within your office?
Everybody's within my office. And so what we kind of, in several of them might still be doing some of that. We've got people doing NAR. So we record this. And then what we do is we post this in our Facebook groups.
Okay,
And we get
good idea.
Watch it later. And I'll give you the recording too. So
okay.
Everybody's Remax and everybody is a safe space here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I follow Sean on Facebook. I think he's hunting right now, if I remember right, or he's got some cool barn that he has.
He has a really cool spot. So yeah, he might be watching from the blind. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. And how many people are usually on this then, Elizabeth?
It just kind of depends. You know,
okay.
You just never know what might happen. So we're recording and we'll start the recording and we'll just kind of go at it. And some people might join in, but we usually get, what I love about these is that like if I don't post it or if like someone doesn't have the link, they're like, where's the link to Lunch and Learn? I'm like, okay, I got it. So we've gotten really good feedback. So I'm very grateful you are with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up. Again, and it's totally, we can ask whatever questions. We try to keep it to 30 minutes just to get everybody in and out. But if there's something you really want to share that, you know, you think would be valuable for everybody, then go for it and let us know. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So we got Scott Wendl. He's from Iowa, super fun friend. Got to meet him on my journeys with Realtor Realtor Association, but we got to spend a few days driving all through Iowa, raising money for RPAC, which was really awesome. And listening to him, he just has an amazing business. He's a platinum producer, has been for many years. He's got a great business up there. I loved how he talked about what he does with his lead generation and everything. So when I was thinking about who would be great, who kind of fits into a little bit more Midwest, not necessarily hanging out in Santa Barbara or New York City, Scott totally came to mind as a Remax lead person. So welcome.
Thanks.
So where are you?
Well, I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. I've been a full-time realtor for 24 years. As of last Thursday, I was the president for the state of Iowa for the Iowa Association of Realtors. Now I'm one of those past presidents people that just kind of try to see how I can stay involved. Been married for 25 years. In fact, I used my wedding list as my list of sphere of influence when I first started selling real estate. So that worked out pretty well. And I have 3 kids. One's a senior at Iowa, going through a biomedical engineering program. I have a sophomore that is in, she wants to get into like a therapy for handicapped adults. And then I have a junior that's in high school, and we just got notice last night that his wrestling season is put on hold because of all the new CDC guidelines and rules that they're doing. And then I've also been involved with the National Association of Realtors, being the major investor council member, and basically, you know, trying to raise as much money in the state with $1,000 investors. And we're down to our crunch time right now, and I was actually able to raise about $9,000 yesterday with just some people in our office. So that was nice. I've been, as October of last year, I just switched brokerages almost a year ago. It's my 3rd one in 24 years, and the incentive was to be part owner of one. So now I'm part owner of the location that I have in Johnston, and we just closed on the building that we were renting about a month ago. So that works out pretty well. And that's pretty much it. Just I like to tell people I don't know what else I'd be doing than selling real estate. I know there's the running gag where us realtors are psychologically unemployable after we're on our own for a while, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, I think.
I don't know that I've heard that before. That's a good one. That's a good one. So you mentioned, obviously you've been doing this for a long time. Are you solo, team, you're part owner? What's kind of the main task that you spend your day doing?
So I am pretty much a full-time realtor still. Even though I own the building, I do have a separate office manager. So she deals with agents and issues and keeping the office in line. Uh, I've thought about teaming up. I don't really have a team. I have an assistant that's been with me for, I think, 6 years now. And that is probably the biggest eye opener that I've experienced is hiring an assistant almost 7 years ago. I went through another one, had her for about a year and a half. And the only thing I told her, I go, if you ever quit, you need to give me 2 weeks notice so you could train a replacement. And she literally trained her replacement and it was almost seamless. Like I didn't miss anything. Um, I've thought about teams. You know what? I think there's negatives and positives with teams. I think you have the realtor that likes to have a team because they like to show big numbers. And there's a lot of agents around just my market that have 5, 6, 10 people on their team. They're showing huge numbers, but I also wonder how much money they're actually making and how much time they're taking managing the team. I could really care less if I do 50 or 60 million a year in production. It all bases or breaks down to how much is actually in my checking account and my quality of life and being able to spend time with family. And I like to travel. So I want to have the freedom to be able to do that. And having about 2, 3 agents that I refer business to, if I can do it, has worked out really well.
Cool. So let me dive into that a little bit more because again, platinum agent, not a team, one
Hmm.
assistant. Is she licensed?
No, she's not.
She's not. And what are her duties?
She basically keeps me in line. I call her my work wife. She is the one that schedules everything. She's almost an extension of my brain. We've known each other for over 20 years. In fact, she used to work at the first real estate office that I worked at. And out of 65 agents, she picked me to be her agent to find her a home and her husband. Um, she works Monday through Friday, 9:15 to about 4:15. She has mom hours. She takes care of my marketing, my Facebook posts, my follow up with past clients. She gives me a list of things to do at the beginning of the week and people I need to get a hold of. She also schedules everything. She knows I like to do kind of an efficient circle in one day of appointments. So I'm not going from one side of town to the other and wasting a lot of time commuting. She also just kind of holds me accountable also that I get my stuff done. So we hit our production goals and she gets paid per transaction closing also. So she's motivated to watch to make sure I succeed as well.
Nice. What's your average sales price up there?
Mine it's actually gone up. Mine's about 280,000. I
Nice.
think our local market is about 230,000.
Okay. So yeah, I
And
mean,
I'll sell anywhere from about 60 to 75 homes a year.
that's awesome. That's very
Mhm.
awesome. So she said keep it in touch with past clients. What do you do? Like how do you systematically go through that?
My only job is to be in front of clients. If I'm not showing houses or in houses listing them, pretty much everything could be delegated out to my assistant. Uh, she has access to all my emails. She goes through those. She answers them for me, the obvious ones. It's amazing how time consuming it is during the day of clients that just have a simple question that can be answered by forwarding it to my assistant and have her find out what it is. And to be honest, it'll probably be more accurate. She also has a gentler way of responding to emails than me just being short, quick word sentence answers and to the point. And it's almost like the clients like her more than me after the whole transaction's done, which I have no problem with.
You have no problem because she's not licensed, right?
Exactly. And
Right.
we've talked about getting her licensed. She just doesn't want to do that. I want her to have mom hours where she can shut it off at the end of the day and not have to think about problems like us realtors do overnight if something's going to fall apart or stay together, or
No.
inspection issues, or just any fires that we're putting out.
Yeah. So when someone's worked with you, do you do mailers? Do you do, are you every day calling them? Are you every day texting them? Or, how often are you trying to keep in touch with them, trying to follow up with them?
So every month we send out just a physical mailer. I'm a big Buffini fan, so that's kind of the program that I follow. I've been with him, I think, for 7 or 8 years, and every October I pay the whole year in advance for the following year, because my thought is if it's not broke, don't fix it, and it's working. I send an email out every Tuesday. It's kind of funny with their CEO, being the president, we'll be in meetings on Tuesdays, and he's like, "Yep, how come I'm always getting emails from you when we always have these meetings?" I go, "Because we always have them on Tuesdays, usually about 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's how we're set up." I also send out the flyer once a month to the top 100 people, and that's automatically sent to me with the Buffini program. I do have various client parties throughout the year, or get-togethers, or social events. This year, unfortunately, we haven't done any of that because of the COVID-19 crap. I am doing a pie giveaway next week. In full disclosure, I'm actually in lockdown right now because I got tested positive for COVID last Saturday.
Oh, no.
So yeah, we're fine. It's like the best scenario of minor symptoms, I guess. My wife and I both have it.
Okay.
So we're good, and it's actually an opportunity to get caught up on a lot of stuff at home, a lot of paperwork and emails and everything too. Probably some of the other ways that I've stayed in contact with past clients. I've done big client parties, usually around February every year. The last few that I've done was I rent out a whole movie theater and do a client party. It's usually right around Valentine's Day, and I've gotten some pretty good referrals off of that. You've got a captive audience before the movie starts, and where we're at, it's called Flicks Brew House. So it has food, and it's a brewery also. So I feed them, give them drinks, and we watch a movie. I'm also in the summer. We always try to do a summer party. And it's usually around June 20th or 21st. It's the longest day of sunlight of the year, the equinox. And what we've done in the past is I've rented the whole zoo out that we have in Des Moines. It's not a huge zoo, but it's a perfect zoo to get through in about an hour and a half. And you don't have to worry about fighting crowds. I've also done, we have a winery, and every Thursday night they have live music before the pandemic, of course. And it is a really easy way of having a client appreciation party. There's probably about 1,000 people that show up. I might only have about 50 or 75 that show up. But the best line I had from one client was, "Are all these people your past clients?" And I'm like, "Not yet, but I'm working on it." So, and it's a controlled event where you don't have to pay a flat fee whether you use it or lose it. You just pay per person, so it works out pretty well. I've also done different, like, pop buys is what Buffini stop or kind of preaches a little bit also. There'll be times where I've got an example, just popcorn in my background here, and that's labeled for pop buys, and my assistant will order those. She'll put the labels on them, and my goal is to get rid of those within the month so that I can hit my numbers right on just personal contacts. And to be honest, what I do now is just drop it off, take a picture of it, and text it to my clients because of nobody wants to contact anybody. And that's also a motivator. Buffini has this awesome app where I bring my tablet with me, and you can find out all your clients that are near you and strategically just map it out and knock out a whole bunch of pop buys really fast and just dedicate about an hour or hour and a half to do it.
So we love Buffini. we do too. I love you say that. He's amazing. So do you buy the whole referral maker kit each month? So when you say you're sending out to the 100, you're just sending out his flyer?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's one of the emails. Every week we have a different themed email that goes out. We have a small business called Referral Squirrel, and it's kind of a funny name, but what they do is they partner with the local business, and it's kind of like a 2-for-1, or if you go out to dinner, you get a free dessert type of thing. It just costs me a flat fee. I'm on the very entry level of when they started, and it's only $50 a month to have them design it. What's that?
Just in Des Moines?
Yes. Yep. Just in Des Moines.
Okay.
So what they do is they basically brand a postcard. If you want to mail a postcard out, what I usually do is just brand an email and send it out. And it only costs me the flat fee. And the partnership that I have with whatever the vendor is, they're basically eating the difference by getting people into their restaurant or store. And that's worked out pretty well. And then the Buffini ones, one other week, we do some kind of theme. We also try to send out what my inventory is, what my listings are with those emails also.
Nice. You said something that I don't know if it just clicked with me or maybe I've heard it my whole life and it just hasn't clicked that I loved, was when you were talking about the wine event, there's 1,000 people there. You're inviting 75. They're thinking it's everyone. And then of course the other people are seeing you host the event. So versus a private event, you're getting kind of like almost like a 3-for-1 on that.
It works out nice, especially at the theater, because they have, I think, 5 or 6 different theater like rooms, and you have all your branding out front with the Remax balloon, and you having all these people go to different movie theaters. You're like, well, how do I get to go to your theater? Like, you just have to be a past client of mine, and that works out pretty well with the winery too. Is you see all these people, and I have my signs there, and they'll come up and talk to you also and ask you about real estate.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So do you pay for leads?
I don't. To be honest with you, I think the last time I paid for leads was maybe 15, 16 years ago when realtor.com was selling them back then before Zillow. But almost 90% of my business is all past clients and referrals. And I have a database of probably about 800 past clients. And I would much rather spend my money on my past clients, keeping my name in front of them, instead of a company that basically scrapes all our MLS feeds for free and resells it back to us. I don't like that.
So I got a question because I don't think I've asked anyone this on a lunch and learn before, but I feel like it's somewhat consistent with some people, and even some people who I know who are paying attention. You mentioned that you haven't bought leads for 15 years. You're now, let's put you in, let's go back to that. You're a brand new agent. You may not have 800 people to do referrals and business. If you were starting out today, would you buy leads?
No. I would still work on my sphere of influence. Probably the best class that I took, I think it was a CRS class 210, building a referral-based business. And if you think, when I talked about using my wedding list, if you think of the average wedding, good sized wedding is about 250 people. If you get referrals from just 10% of those people, you're already doing 25 transactions a year. So, and those are the people that know you, trust you, and hopefully will use you, instead of hoping that a cold lead that comes off a website or a phone number is going to use you.
Yeah, I think it's such a good point because it's sometimes, I think we get gun shy about the people that we know. You don't want to bother them. You don't want to talk to them. You don't want to keep pushing yourself on them. But it really is, those are the people who care about you the most, right? They want to see you succeed.
One thing that I've been very successful, I belong to 2 networking groups. And one of them I call my serious networking group, and one is more of the fun one where a bunch of buddies and we started up. And a good example of that, I'm doing a $1 million build right now, build to order, with my insurance agent that belongs to that. And he's referred a lot of business to me, and I've referred a lot of business to him. And the way we have it structured is we pay $100 a quarter. There's no duplication of professions in that group. We meet twice a month, once for breakfast, once for lunch. And we have, I think, about 20 people in my fun group, I guess. And then we also do socials every quarter where we get together. We've done everything from gone to shooting ranges to go-kart racing to the hatchet throwing, and golf outings. And it's just a good way of networking with other people and keeping your name out there. And the networking group pays for everything because we only charge $100 per quarter. That covers your meals and it covers your social events, because usually only about half the people show up, and it just averages out. It works out pretty well.
Is that BNI or is it something different?
It's sort of like that. I think BNI is too structured. I'm not a go once a week, blow money on a meal, and hold you for ransom. If you don't bring a lead, you get kicked out type of deal. This is more of a loose group, like-minded people that like to have fun together. And we just use each other because we like to use each other.
I love it. So anybody can start your own,
Hmm.
put it together, and now you're hanging out with like-minded people who can help raise your business.
Yep. Yep. It's been fun.
Very cool. Okay, so CRM's the holy grail of real estate that continue to change. Do we use them? Do we not? Are you referral maker? Do you use something else?
I use Referral Maker. Yep, the Buffini one. Pretty religiously also. The hardest thing about CRMs is just taking the time to do it. And that's one nice thing about having an assistant is my assistant enters all that stuff in there into the CRM. I actually stole a lead sheet for buyers and one for sellers. And when I'm interviewing buyers or sellers, I fill everything out. I give it to my assistant. She plugs everything into my CRM as well as my Google contacts. So I have everything accessible by my phone, my tablet, computer. And then she also puts reminders in there also of when I need to follow up with them. And then it'll automatically email me or it'll pop up on my schedule. So I don't, I it's sick if everybody, once you get busy, it almost makes you sick how much business you lose because you forgot to follow up on somebody that you should have. And that kind of holds you accountable having the, the right follow-up plans too.
So every day, when do you check your CRM?
Oh, in the morning, first thing. And I was doing actual phone calls, and the easiest part is I write down my 5 people or 6 people I need to call that day. I put their phone number in it. When I jump in my truck, all I have to do is push a button, hooks up to my Bluetooth, tell the phone number, and make a phone call. And it's probably the best use of downtime while you're driving that I think you could do.
So are you a phone guy? Would you say you're a phone guy?
Phone and texting.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I also ask my clients how they like to be communicated to. Because you get, I don't know if there's any millennials on here, but some of them don't even have voicemail set up. And they just want to be corresponded with texting. And if you leave a voicemail, they might not get it for days.
Sure. What are some other apps or software that you like to use?
Um, whew, Probably the Buffini one's the biggest one. I don't know if you're familiar with Forewarn. I like to use Forewarn. It's kind of like a background check for clients that might get referred to you, or you just get a weird phone number. And we've been lucky enough to have our board pay for that. So it's a free member benefit with our board. I'm trying to think of other ones. I'm always using Google for stuff, just for mapping and everything. Um, Pretty much the CRM with Buffini is the biggest one I use, and I'm a Google guy, so I use the Gmail and um, everything for my calendar, so everything syncs together too.
Nice. Yeah, the Forewarn, I just talked to, we have a mutual friend who just got Forewarn for their board, and I guess it just like freaked out the whole community because everyone was looking up everybody, and they're like, how are they getting this information? It's like it's all out there.
Oh, they're fun at parties.
Yeah.
Or even other agents to find out what kind of record they had, like from college or something. That's
Yeah,
always fun.
that's more how they were using it.
Hmm.
For sure. All right. So if you're wanting to grow your business, find new clients, new people, what are you doing to prospect?
You know what? I just reconnect with my past clients. Probably the biggest thing is just doing the steps that I'm supposed to do with writing my notes to past clients, doing the pop buys, making the phone calls, just keeping my name and information in front of them at all times.
I love it. This is so Buffini. So notes, pop bys,
Yep.
phone calls, your daily activities, which is awesome. And this is a good chance if you give me a moment. NAR just partnered with Brian Buffini for 100 Days to Greatness. And I bet we've had in our office probably 50 people take 100 Days to Greatness over the course of their career, which is really kind of like a starter path. He's completely revamped it. He's completely redone it. It's something we'll be pushing out to you. So kind of keep your eyes open to it. And if you've already taken it, it's all new. So take it again. But then the next one would be Pathways to Mastery, which exists out there as well, which Remax partners with. So
yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, awesome. So the last question we'll ask you, and anything else you want to share, what is Scott's secret sauce? Like, what do you think makes you special?
You know what? Probably the biggest thing is, well, there's a couple different things. I think hiring an assistant made a huge difference. I was getting to that probably 40 transactions a year. And when another agent's assistant tells you that you need to get an assistant, that's probably a good sign. I've always was scared to death to get an assistant, because just all of a sudden you're responsible for somebody else's family and income and livelihood. And it was almost magical. Within a year, my income almost doubled, because hiring an assistant opened up so much extra time to prospect and stay in front of clients that I couldn't imagine not having one now. And I wish I would have done it a lot earlier, even if I didn't think I could afford it, because it helped me get organized. Probably the other thing too is there's nothing I hate more than in this business when somebody screws up, they don't take blame for it, or they blame other people for it. And I'll be the first one to admit I've screwed up big time a couple times. I've paid for my mistakes. I even bought a townhouse once to make it right, to save my reputation, to keep the clients happy. And probably the other biggest thing is when I first started in the business 24 years ago, this older agent by the name of Joy, and she passed away a couple years ago. She goes, "Scotty, you know what I wish I would have done when I was your age? You need to buy a rental property every year you're in the business." And I stuck to that and did it. And I could not imagine not having the rental properties and actually having a retirement plan now, instead of just working till, I guess agents don't quit, they just become listless, is what I heard. And I don't want to be that 80, 90-year-old guy that's still working because I have to. I want to be that 80, 90-year-old guy working because I want to.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You've got such great things. Anything else you want to share with anybody, or tips for someone new, or just real estate in general that's like your thing?
You know what? I would say probably another big thing is just lay your whole year out of what you want to accomplish. Put vacations in, because this business will burn you out. Prepay for the vacations, because then you'll actually go. And money's not everything in this business. Give up some stuff, refer stuff out so you can enjoy it. We've got a pretty high divorce rate in this business, and just some messed up situations. I've been fortunate to be married to the same gal for 25 years. And well, Elizabeth knows me. I can't believe she's been with me that long, because I could be a lot to live with, I guess, according to my wife and some of my friends, but it's all worked out.
Well, this is awesome. We so appreciate your time. Scott Wendl, top agent, platinum producer, REMAX advocate, industry leader, and Brian Buffini, raving fan and full of good information, and a good friend. It's been
Thanks,
nice
Elizabeth.
to know you. Absolutely. And I thank you for your time today with this group and kind of sharing your information, because I know it's valuable and you could be doing some other things. So we really appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Scott.
You bet. Thanks, everybody.